exactly right. Commentator from your POV. Oh man, yes.
Hello and welcome. Nice to be at your place, wherever you're watching us, right around the country and indeed the world. Hello and welcome to round 7 of this Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup here at Trial Mountain here this evening. It is a sprint round to finish leg 1 of this championship tonight at Trial Mountain in the beautiful Sierra Nevada of the USA. Continuing our USA finish to leg 1 of this championship tonight. It is round 7, like I mentioned. 15 corners, 10-minute qualifying session, 2 10-lap races. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce the man alongside me for this evening, Mr. RaceOnOz himself, Liam Tame. Good evening to you. This is going to be an absolute cracker to finish leg 1 of this championship.
On board, off board, I should say, with Tank at the moment. We are into our qualifying session, so these lads have 10 minutes around the Trial Mountain circuit. Of course, a Gran Turismo classic as well, that just iconic setting. Very keen to see how these lads go tonight. It's a different style of track to what we've seen the last couple of weeks, so this one's going to take some getting used to.
It certainly is. There is the young man, Tank, out on the circuit. RaceOnOz there with him. Mint Matt, everyone in the lobby here, as per usual here this evening. Big hello to Snorkel as well. What an effort that man does behind the scenes. Everybody behind the scenes, in fact, here at RaceOnOz. And Distinct Andrew, evening all. Hope we're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good luck, lads, says Water Arrow. And looking at Tank drivers just getting out there. It is a longer circuit, of course. This one set in the mountainous Sierra Nevada in the United States of America. 7 blind corners, 3 tunnels, long uphill back straight, series of fast corners as well. And it's been a staple of the Gran Turismo series, Liam, for many, many years. And this circuit synonymous with Gran Turismo from day one.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just one of those tracks, right? I mean, you come to Trial Mountain and you know what you're going to get. I mean, I know it's gone under some pretty radical changes lately. There's been a lot of corner profiling changing. I mean, even watching Ranger here heading into this final little chicane, this corner has changed so much. I mean, people back in the day would have been throwing themselves through that last little right-hander, and there was quite the banking on the inside to flip the cars up and have a little bit of fun as you went through with an MX-5 or a Subaru and Pretza GT300 car, whatever what it was. Trial Mountain was the place to be, and Ranger was apparently the person to be watching, as he's going to set the pace initially with a 59.6, so probably a little bit more in that. We could potentially see some 58s, I think, this session. Eyes on the Distinct lads for that one, but strong first lap there from Matthew Allen. Absolutely, just ahead of Tank, of course. Adam Elzine, RaceOnOz straight to the top of our timing sheets. As the photographers there, very brave indeed. This circuit, as you mentioned, Liam, has undergone some pretty big changes, but it still is one of the most loved circuits, that's for sure. Distinct Andrew, oh boy, this man is quick, Liam, and he's 1/10 off of provisional pole position, but he is flying on this lap, isn't he, here? Yeah, just building into it. I think getting some tyre temp underneath you, making sure that you got the bearings. Softs aren't going to be the preferred tyre tonight. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but they're going to be another qualifying only tyre. We will almost certainly not see them in the race whatsoever. So I'm not sure how much running these guys have done on the soft tyre. So it's about how you can maximise your pace on both compounds for tonight. And that's going to be a real challenge for these guys to adapt to.
Absolutely. Andrew, there he goes. You can see there 15 corners for this circuit. Here we come round the back part of this track now. 11, 12, and running downhill towards turn 13 there. And a beautiful circuit. Not quite sure it gets onto the FIA safety, what is it, category 1 or level 1, Liam, but you probably know a bit more about that than me. But it is a fictional circuit. I'm just being humorous there as we come through turn 14 and 15. And you can get through the first 13 corners, Liam, but if you get this little tricky section wrong, it can really ruin your qualifying lap.
Yeah, that's right. As we see here, Andrew managed to navigate it pretty well. Nick Dalton goes to the top there with a 59.5. Is Andrew Lee going to do any better? And he does with another 59.5. So Andrew Lee goes to the top where he's been for so long this season. And there's just a couple guys who've now got a better view of his tail there. The Castrol Sylvia heading through Sector 1. Very tight at the top though, only a 10th separating your top three.
And 59.528, that man has spent a lot of time in P1 this season. We'll get to those championship standings in just a few moments, but then it is Oz Nico who has a penalty. A slowdown there, half a second through one of the 3 tunnels on this circuit we go. Ranger Oz down to third now. 7 minutes gone in this session. We talked about those softs. They will not make the 20 minutes. Mediums expected to last the entire distance. Of course, this is the final round before the season break. And Liam, I'm getting emotional because I cannot believe that half this season has gone already.
Pretty crazy. I mean, just the way this has flown by. There's been so much going on in this first 7 weeks. I'm super excited to see what happens tonight. Of course, our very first sprint round. So tonight we're going to see the whole grid flipped for race 2. We're going to see Andrew Lee starting from the back of a grid more than likely, which I'm kind of choking up on my words just hearing that, but it's going to be very up and down. It's going to give a lot of opportunity to guys that we maybe don't see fighting up the front all that often. So very excited for tonight before we go for our season break, Trev.
Absolutely. Loving the thought of the second race being that reverse grid. It probably hasn't worried Andrew too much in the past, has it? He's come from lower down the field and managed to do pretty well. Here is Tank, the young man, Adam Elzine. Number 44 on his car in homage to the great Lewis Hamilton. There is Tank for FR Racing across the line, a little bit down on that lap, but he'll have another chance. Distinct Caleb, he's down in P5 and he's got a bit of work to do. P5, not the end of the world, Liam, but would we be expecting Caleb down in P5 in this session?
Certainly not where we're used to seeing him. He's often right on the tail of Andrew Lee. Of course, distinct esports teammates, those two fellas. So they've had a lot to do with each other in the past. They're very good at working together. But Caleb's leaving a lot to do for this final run here. So he doesn't improve. We can see an improvement there from Ridwan Hamza, who goes up to P8. But Caleb's still sitting there in P5. It's just so close though, Trevor. Man, even in P5, he's no more than... Oh, actually, he's got a penalty there as well.
Penalty.
So it's going to be no better than P5 for Caleb Birtles. He's stuck back there. He's only a 10th and a half slower than his distinct teammate, but it's going to be no better than the third row of the grid.
Incredible. A big turn up for the books here in qualifying. Prying Stingray, and they are very close out on the circuit. Matthew Simmons down in P7. Ridwan, the proud Serbian, P8. Jimmy Palo down there in P9. And is that Andrew going slowly? What is happening here?
Yeah, I think Andrew has just backed out of this one, so he's very courteously gotten out of the way for our guys, which is a very good thing to do. We always recommend moving on over, but there's still a couple of quick laps coming on through here. Final sector of the lap, so crucial to get right, and it's such an interesting one as a driver, because as we see Nico here navigating through the canyon, as it has been called before, down into the penultimate complex, you've got to really sacrifice a lot of your entry to make sure you're getting that run. You see it most especially in that final corner, which we're going to see Nico head down into soon. But yeah, just exit running is so important here, as Nico there on the brakes. And we're going to just keep an eye on the bottom left of the screen here as well, see if we get any more lap times, any more shake-ups to the order. They're all going to come across the line. Not seeing anything yet, Trevor. There could be a couple of couple of surprises if this is the case. Of course, Caleb Birtles we see is going to stay in P5. RaceOnOz backed out of it actually, I believe, so didn't get the lap in, but this is a little bit anticlimactic, to be honest.
Absolutely. It reminds me of, was it Monza a few years ago when they were slipstreaming each other, weren't they? And they missed the line, didn't they, a few years back there? But in Q3, of course, that's F1. We are not talking about F1 because we are talking about a very, well, I don't want to say dull end to the qualifying session, but let's have a look. It is no surprises, however, at the top. Distinct Andrew on pole position, P1, numero uno, which is Italian for P1. But whatever way you want to say it, Liam, he has taken pole position, is what I'm trying to get across. But Nico, less than a tenth back, both 59.5s, 59.6 there for RaceOnOz, just a tenth back. And then it's Tank Caleb there, not getting that lap time in at the end. Prying Stingray, Mint Matt. Oh, not too sure whether I like seeing my man back there. Ridwan in 8th and Jimmy Payload in 9th. Only 6/10 covering the entire field as we get ready for the first of these two 20-minute races, Liam. I know you're a busy man getting this one set up, but we are getting very close to going racing here.
We are, and how interesting too. I think that's probably our closest grid of the season so far, Trevor. I mean, first to ninth in under 7/10. That's super impressive. And as Andrew Lee's actually just said in the chat as well, g'day Andrew, breaking away going to be impossible here. I have to agree, even though the straight isn't really that crucial, or maybe crucial isn't the right word for it. It's not the biggest factor of this circuit. It's so hard to split people because Trial Mountain's just one of those circuits where following is very crucial, watching the lines, getting the slipstream, and just putting together the entire lap is so hard to find something over anyone else. And it's such a competitive grid, so many great drivers. I'm super keen for what we're going to see soon. This is going to be exciting.
Absolutely. It's not going to be Sunday Cup sort of stuff, is it? It's going to be very, not disrespecting the Sunday Cup. We love that. Of course, a lot of us started with the Sunday Cup on this beautiful game, but we are getting ready now. The countdown is on. I tell you what we might do. We might have a quick look at the drivers' standings, of course, and Andrew Lee, whilst we've got a spare moment, 99 points ahead of Prima GTR, 54 points. Matty Simmons on 49. The rest of them very tight in that middle part of the championship standings, but I'm seeing one man and one man only there. Andrew Lee is putting on a clinic in the first leg of this series.
He's been going well. It's been what we come to expect from Andrew Lee, and he's just done well in so many leagues across so many years. It's probably been about 5 years now of Andrew Lee dominance, and I don't throw that term out too easily, but it is really the best way to put it. He's just been on top in everything he's done, and that 45-point gap to Gopi Mahinderjit in P2 really says all it has to. I mean, the fact that Andrew Lee can just about double Gopi's score tonight is just unreal. I mean, of course, Gopi Mahinderjit not running tonight, unfortunately. He's double booked, cannot make it. So that's a prime opportunity for Andrew to quite literally double the score of the guys chasing him. Pretty absurd.
Crazy stuff. There is our season calendar as we count down to the start of this race. Of course, finishing leg one of this championship, finishing off in the United States here, Trial Mountain. First of our sprint rounds here in the Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup. And Motorsport Australia, of course, trusting RaceOnOz once again this year. A big thank you to them for letting us run this championship. As you can see, we have a short break, don't we, until round 8, and that is going to be the Retro Enduro round at the Nürburgring, I believe there, Liam, of course. 3 words that get the juices going, Retro Enduro and Nürburgring, but it's all about round 7 of this championship. We are getting ready to go racing shortly. As you can see there, it'll be Distinct Andrew starting in P1. But Liam, I cannot wait to get this one underway here. We are not too far away here as we get ready to get this one started.
It's I think it's go time, Trev. Andrew Lee off the front. Nico Dalton sharing the front row with him. What can go wrong?
Absolutely. Let's have a look at this. False starts will be penalised, but we're not worried about that. We are worried about the start of this race. There are our drivers on the starting grid. You know the drill by now. 4, 5, the red lights will go out and the race will begin now. Green lights, it is go, go, go for the start of this one. Nico gets away well, but Andrew holds the lead off the line. RaceOnOz is right there with him as we head down into turn 1. Distinct Andrew leads away from the line. Right back to Jimmy Payload. Down there at the back, they've all got away cleanly. Nico in second, RaceOnOz in third. Adam Elzine fourth, Distinct Caleb fifth on the grid, and he is right amongst the midfield at the start of this one, Liam.
Yeah, he got real aggressive straight away on Tank, and Tank's not taking it. Tank is not taking it, I should say. A bit of a tongue twister there. But he does just succumb to Caleb there around the outside. So up into P4 is the Distinct Esports man. They're all very orderly, very calm so far. There's a little bit of a train forming, but that's what you expect at the start of a race like this as they all settle in here onto this back straight. So
Distinct Andrew, down the back straight we go. For the first time here, a long run down to turn 9 on this beautiful trial mountain circuit. There's our man in P2, Oz Nico, P2 for him. But are we going to see Andrew Lee break away here at the front? We know that those softs can't make the 20 minutes. Mediums are what we're expecting. If I could talk, Liam, that'd be a great positive here. But look, RaceOnOz all over the back of Nico. Is he going to make some moves here?
He's having a good sniff, but Ranger's smart. He's going to want Nico to get a hurry on, and he expects a certain level from Mr. Nico here. So I'm sure he's just trying to will him along right now. He doesn't want to make a rash move and let Andrew get away, but he needs the pace to pick up. Ranger's got a lot of speed tonight. This is a circuit that he certainly enjoys, and he's just wanting a little bit more out of Nico, otherwise he's going to have to dispatch him.
Through turns 14, 15, end of the first lap. 2 10-lap or 20-minute races, I should say, as across the line we go. There is Caleb up to P4. What is this funny business going on at the back? Jimmy there in the background. There's Tank, Ridwan, Matt Simmons, prying Stingray, but Jimmy Payload there looked like he was trying to get a slipstream or something. We know this season he has struggled to get a grip on these cars, but he is right amongst it, still there in P9. He's not too far off the action here, is our Jimothy.
Tell you what, Trev, even if we don't see Jimmy in the action this race, I'm going to put a quick little bookmark on him right now and say that he is going to have the widest Nissan Silvia in the world come next race.
And you can see they'll all be staring at the back of that car. We're cutting it a little bit fine there through turns 8, some of our drivers, but you can see at the back Jimmy there with a big payload. Oh, hello there. Hello, Jimmy, says Prying Stingray, because that looked like a little bit of a nudge. And big hello to you. You got a Bjocken there. Shame that GT can't and won't do bigger grids, but it's a big hello to you there. And Viper as well. Of course, Viper's here. He's sitting alongside me. But let's get back to the business end of the season. And the people who have perched up in that caravan there have the best seats in the house here tonight. But Distinct Andrew, is he breaking away, Liam, and doing Distinct Andrew-like things?
He's trying. He's certainly trying. He's had a really good second lap. He's out to just over 9/10 now, nearing on a second, and this slipstream it runs out about a second and a half, so he's got a little bit of time. Andrew there sacrificing his entry. The gap will come down as we see it there drop to 8/10, but he's got a mega exit and growing out again, close enough to 9/10. It's going to keep on going. It's going to be the battle for second once again, I dare say. No pit stops in this one, so no chance of an undercut. And I can see at the back there as well, a little bit of an air gap forming between Prying Stingray in P8 and Ridwan Hamza in P7. But it looks like Stingray has a friend in Jimmy Payload. So Jimmy Payload there just pushing him along a little bit, giving him a bit of a payload boost from behind. And I think it's a bit of an honour to be pushed by payload in this way and not shoved off track.
Absolutely, I see what you did there, Liam, but Prying Stingray, he's got a friend in Jimmy, and the Toy Story song there, but I won't start singing, I won't do that to everybody watching at home, but look at Jimmy all over the back here. He's done a personal best through that opening sector here on this lap. Big shout out to everybody out there watching this evening. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday night. Of course, it is finals time in the AFL and the NRL, Liam. I don't forget about the NRL here. But, oh, Jimmy, is he going to get some Slipstream City here towards turn 9? Jimmy, is he going to be brave on the brakes down the inside? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? No! He lives to fight another day, because he is not making a move on Prying Stingray here on this occasion here. Another great angle there, another personal best for him. We'll get back to our broadcasting cameras. I think that battle's going to continue for a long, long time, but we're out to a 1.2 second gap between Andrew and Nico has a penalty and will be forced to slow down, Liam Tame.
It's pretty crucial. That is going to be a massive kicker for Nico. He really didn't need a mistake there, and to be honest, that's going to be all the gap that Andrew needs. It's already 1.2, probably about to be 1.3 on the exit, as Nico there pulls over driver's right to serve the penalty. And the interesting thing now is just figuring out where he's going to slot in, because he's desperately going to try and find slipstream. But the pace that absolutely everybody else is carrying on him is tough, but there you go. So his teammate Tank there pulls him behind, gives him a little bit of a shove. So Nico there, P2 down to P4, and that could have gone a lot worse for him. I thought he was going to lose a bit more.
Well, it's not a bad result. I know it sounds strange for Nico, and he won't be thinking that, but not a bad result at all for him. And he'll be under pressure here from Tank and Matty Simmons. But it's not as bad as what it could potentially have been there. P6, Ridwan, also with a penalty. Is this for track limits, are we thinking, Liam, here? We know that they're pretty generous here around this circuit, but are they just pushing those track limits too hard early in this race one?
Definitely. And there's only a few places you can realistically cop a pen of half a second. Definitely track limits penalty. Just thinking, it's potentially in the final sector, either in that chicane or in the left-hander before it. If you just take a few too many liberties on the inside, you will get stung there. The only other place I can imagine getting a penalty is those first two corners as you thread it up and over the crest. There can certainly be a little bit that goes on there, but Ridwan anyway, not wanting to be having that. There's a bit of action going on right now, Trev. Second through to sixth. You can throw a blanket over them right now. Have a look at that.
Unbelievable. And it's not a Fernando Alonso train, is it? It's a distinct Caleb train, but look at that. He's up into P2. This, where was it, 5th on the grid or 6th on the grid? He didn't have a great qualifying session. He picked up that penalty, didn't he, as well in qualifying. But he is up to P2 now with Ranger Oz. Nico there recovering from the penalty a little bit earlier on. And he is still down there in P4 as we come across the line. Big hello to you, Beaky. And if you're out there lurking, consider following. But across the line, once again, half the race gone. Half still to go here. Distinct Caleb once again there. Continuing on, now breaking away from Ranger Oz in P3. And Nico, no pit stops, of course, for this race. And thank you to Yagota Bjokin 97. Geez, I hope I've said that right, Liam, who is now following the channel. That is fantastic stuff. Great to have you as part of the family here. But Nico is still well and truly in the mix, Liam, for a podium here. He's taken his hit, he's taken a penalty, but he's still got his eyes on the prize here.
Oh, he's certainly there, and these guys, they've just gotten a little bit muddled up recently. I mean, obviously Caleb through to P2 was certainly unexpected, but I don't know how Caleb's gotten through them so easily. There was certainly a little bit of a kerfuffle between these guys. Must have been roughly when Nico dropped back, it all happened. They're spread out a little bit more now as you see them now heading into the bowl. at the top end of the circuit. But another two packs forming as well. You see over the back of Matt Simmons there, just on the back in 6th position. There is a decent gap back to Ridwan Hamza, who has now got both Stingray and Jibby Payload behind him. But I will say very, very good to see all 9 cars still somewhat in touch with one another. No back markers this time around.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bob, for following the channel there, of course. 493, we're getting closer to 500. But Tank, oh my goodness me, is there any team orders here that can Caleb maintain P2? That's the position he's after, but that is the question from Beaky. But are there any team orders here, Liam? Is Nico faster than you?
Oh, I think they just hold station, to be honest with you, Trev. I mean, no real reason to go for an overtake that maybe isn't on. I think Tank being Tank, he loves a sniff. He loves to have a go, even if it's only a quarter way on. But, I mean, Nico and Tank have gotten along real well this season. They've worked together incredibly well. And I think Nico's just been a little bit of a calming force for him. He's calmed him down. He started teaching him a few tricks about racecraft, and we've definitely seen a better Tank as a result. So I think just following Nico for now is probably the best way to do it. Just follow his lines, stay in the wheel tracks, and I think there's a pretty juicy result coming for FR Racing tonight.
Absolutely. Plenty of points on the way. The question coming in from the chat, Liam, how many races tonight? Please answer the good people out there on the Twitch chat, please. How many races can these people expect to see here tonight?
Just the 2 tonight. So we've got the Sylvias on for 2 10-lap races. Of course, this one set via qualifying. Andrew Lee was trying to put a bow on that one nice and early. Second race, a reverse grid based on these results. So we'll see if it is right now. Andrew Lee off the back in P9, where our front row will actually be Jimmy Payload and this man prying Stingray on screen right now. So massive shake-up, a little bit of fun. And hopefully a little bit of chaos. Not in the bad way, of course, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of action, you know, just for the viewers.
Absolutely. That's what we love to see. Consistency. Capital C for consistency, Liam. I keep going on about this, but 201s galore there. And in fact, that is a 201.030 for Distinct Caleb, which sees him with the fastest lap of the race, and that is terrific to see there. He is pulling away. Of course, he's it's less than 2 seconds, but I think Andrew might just be controlling that gap out in front. And Liam is the new Wilco, says Beaky. Boy, that's big shoes to fill. But great to have Liam Tame, that's right, the Liam Tame, alongside us here this evening. And Distinct Caleb in second, Ranger Oz in third. So they're spreading out a little bit now, aren't they? Tank is up into P4. And Nico's lost out now, down to P6. Matty Simmons and Tank are ahead of him with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, big loss there from Nico. So he's dropped the 2 spots. Must have been a mistake in the final sector, or potentially a penalty, because he dropped down to a 2-minute 2.7. We can just see on the right there for his last lap. So it was most certainly something in the late half of that last lap. But now following in the wheel tracks of his good mate Matt Simmons, of course. These two have got history. They went over to International Race Camp together back in 2015, I believe it was. So, yeah, no love lost between these guys, and incredible races in their own right. So I'll tell you, if Nico can get to the back of Matt here, who is having a sniff at Tank actually up ahead. Tank goes slightly defensive, but Matt Simmons down the inside into the bowl. Is he going to be able to get it done? Tank trying to hang around. The outside just runs him out of road. And Matt Simmons up into P4.
Unbelievable there. And I don't have favourites, Liam. Absolutely not. But Matthew Simmons, the experience there of Matthew Simmons, our 2015 GT Academy International Champion. And boy, Liam, he got that move done. You could just feel that experience coming through there. And Tank, not sure whether he was even born when this man won the GT Academy Championship, but that is experience right there, getting past our youngest man in the field.
I've got to hope that Tank doesn't watch this one back. He might not enjoy being called a 10-year-old. But he brings it upon himself, and he's a very well-mannered, wicked sense of humour young man, and he's a bloody good sim racer at that. As you can see him here all over the back of the BCG entry. He doesn't want to let this one go. I did say there was a nice stack of points coming for FR Racing. Tank wants to be the first of them, as he's going to be looking up, down, left and right to see if he can get P4 back. Only 3 laps left to go here, so he's got to get it done quickly, but he does have help. Nick Dalton's still behind him, pushing him on, and he'll be willing him on in the party chat as well, just trying to see what he can do, see if you can find it up anywhere he can. If you can find a little mistake out of Matt, which of course pretty rare these days, but it does happen, no one's perfect, and that's actually a really good exit there for Tank. You can see the drive off the corner, and there could be a chance here at the bottom of the straight.
Ooh, let's have a look and see what Tank's going to do. Up, down, left, right, L2, R2, R1, R2. It sounds like the old cheat codes, doesn't it, Liam? That's how old I am. Yes, there we go, but down into turn 9. Oh, Tank! Returning the favour, Liam! Look at this, but Matty Simmons, you've got to get up very early in the morning to get past Matty Simmons and his charismatic French Bulldog Hank, because Matt has stayed in P4 and boy, just gives Tank the old put your manners back in, like Tom Cruise on 60 Minutes.
He did that one pretty well, didn't he? Didn't think he was going to hang on, but round the outside, Matt Simmons using every single moment of experience he's ever gathered, and a very, very solid move around the outside there. Lidwin moves up the top, actually. Trevor, 2 laps to go. Andrew Lee has a penalty, and the gap is coming down. So Andrew Lee now under pressure from Distinct Caleb. It's going to be under 1 second as we head into turn 1. We could have a little bit of a battle here for first.
Liam, please. Do not do this to me. Lap 9 out of 10. The penultimate lap of this race. Oh, it's on. It is on. It's down to half a second. We are going to witness a grandstand finish here. Oh, could this not be too bad for a number 2 driver? Not saying he's the number 2 driver, but he's number 2 at the moment. Are we going to see a formation finish, says Bob. Love to see these guys in the GT World Series again. Oh, goodness me, they are up and about in the chat, Liam, but oh my goodness, which way are you going with this one?
I think Andrew might still have the air buffer. I don't know where to look right now, Trev, because Matt Simmons has the young man Adam Elzane all over him still. I can't forget about that battle. It is still on for P4. But of course, Caleb with a sniff up ahead. Got to keep... No, I need more eyes right now. I don't know where to look.
Well, we only have 2 corners, don't we? Which is unfortunate for us. But Tank, oh, the young man, is he going to have another crack? Down the inside, there is nothing between them. You could not fit a pension card between these two going down into turn 9, and Tank's got it done. Oh, I'm screaming, Liam. But this is incredible, this battle. But don't forget about the battle at the front either. We don't have enough eyeballs all over this.
It's a time trial battle up the front. It's probably not going to eventuate, and we'll see it if it does. But this battle right now, Matt Simmons versus Adam Elzane, of course, a battle of wits. Not too much pace going to be going on in this one. It's just going to be haymakers. It's going to be move after move, and who can lock in the exits best. You just need that exit onto the main straight, and you can set yourself up going forward. I think Matthew Allen had a pretty dodgy end of that lap, because you can see him a little bit ahead there of Adam Elzane. 1 lap to go now as Andrew Lee crosses the line up ahead, and I'm still not sure what our top 5 is going to look like. It is anyone's game.
Unbelievable. Final lap, which means that after this, there are no more laps to go. And that might sound obvious, but this is going to be an incredible finish. It is the Kiwi Distinct Caleb up against his teammate. They're a little bit twitchy, but nothing to get too concerned about, Liam. There through turns 4, 5 and 6. Oh, Tolly, amazing how far Tank has come in this short space of time. Great racing And we've been singing his praises. What a arrow, what a move. Hello to you, Beaky. My goodness, Liam, the chat is absolutely incredible on a Saturday night, but it all comes down to this. Can he get something going down this long back straight? Is he too far behind to have a go at Andrew here? And is it going to be Andrew taking another win? Liam, I'm made of questions right now here on the final lap.
It's hard. I don't have answers for you, Trevor. We've just got to watch and see. Caleb here, half a second off him now. Going to be pretty difficult to pull anything off in the final sector, but you can never write off this clever Kiwi, of course, in behind his teammate now. Is there going to be anything you can throw at him? Just any apex that he can force Andrew to miss? Anything at all to find a gain over him? He was really deep into that corner there, gained about half a tenth on the leader. Is there going to be any mistake from Andrew? That was slightly wide on the turn in, and Caleb just a little bit sharper, but without the exit. Andrew does go defensive though. He's going to try and break the slipstream. I think it could be all over Red Rover though. Andrew with enough gap, I think he's going to hold this one out.
He is. He's a wily customer, Andrew. Oh, he's getting close. Formation finish here for Distinct. Caleb and Andrew. It's going to be Andrew winning this one. Across the line we go. Yes, he wins race one. Caleb in second. RaceOnOz in P3. The young man, boy, what an exciting young prospect he is. Matthew Simmons, who I don't favour whatsoever there in P5. Welcomed me into the cafe all those years ago. Nico down in P6. Got a penalty. Prying Stingray. Ooh, did he have a bit of a moment there? Ridwan in 8th. And Jimmy will come home in P9. But there's our winner. Not for the first time in this championship for RaceOnOz. The Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup. We see this man taking P1 here in the opening race of the sprint, round 7. And what a victory from him. He did it the hard way. Wasn't all beer and Skittles. But he's got that done here this evening as we take a look at our final standings here. Distinct Andrew leading the way there. Just 4 tenths ahead of Caleb. And 3 further back to RaceOnOz. Tank in 4th. 5th for Matthew Simmons. And 6th for Oznico. Prying Stingray in 7th. Ridwan in 8th. And Jimmy Payload in P9. Of course, half-time, NRL half-time. What's the score? You can send that on through if you like, because Liam, we have a little bit of an interval here, don't we, before we get underway with the reverse grid race for race 2 here this evening.
We absolutely do. A little bit of a break now so these guys can cool off, have a bit of a rethink about how their race went, and figure out how they're going to come through the field in race 2. Of course, it's going to be a little bit easier for some guys than others. Of course, our front row, it will be Ridwan Hamza and Jimothy Payload, which is something we're not used to saying. But very excited to see those guys up top. And of course, figuring out how they go over 10 laps of holding off some absolute professionals that are going to be attacking them.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for that. We might take a short break as well, but do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time to take you through all the action from race 2. This is the RaceOnOz Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup Division 1, Round 7, coming to you live and exclusive on the Kid Buyers channel. We will see you in a few minutes' time. Back shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The race will begin shortly. You can see it there on your screens. Race 2, anything like what we saw in race 1, and we'll be very, very happy to get this second one underway. There we go. Oh boy, are you ready at home? Once again, reverse grid for this race to Jimmy Payload and Ridwan Hamza leading us off the front row of the grid. 4-5 lights. Green, we are away. Jimmy gets a good start here. A lot of jostling for position at the back, but Jimmy goes to cover off Ridwan Hamza. Down into turn 1 here at the start of race 2. Prying Stingray, like a thief in the night, takes P2. Bring it on, says the Biggie. And Jimmy Payload leads away from P1. Prying Stingray and Nico. Matty Simmons 4th, Ridwan Hamza, RaceOnOz, and the Distinct Boys are well and truly amongst the action. Boy, it didn't take him long, Liam. Oh, Tank! Getting a tank slapper on there, you might call it.
Oh, it's just action everywhere, and it's always going to happen with these reverse grids. I mean, look at the way Jimmy Payload defending, chops the nose off Stingray at the front, so there is no prisoners being taken there from the Payload, and he's got some help too, so 4 cars now at the front.
Okay, now 4 cars.
And a little bit going on in the chat as well. As we're going 3 wide here in the run down to the final corner, well, not the final corner, the corner at the bottom of the hill. And I don't know where to look right now, Trev. This could be a little bit of chaos.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh, down the inside. Jimmy. Jimmy, I wasn't expecting that. And he's retaken the lead. Oh, my goodness me. How on earth did he do that, Liam?
Oh, my gosh.
That was incredible. He just saw a gap. I thought he was down to about 4th there, but he's come out with a very pale yellow car in P1, but now he's got Matty Simmons behind him. Wowee. Unbelievable. Jimmy just pulled a number on everyone there, Liam. Did it send it, baby? I'm not sure how much of that you can hear, Liam, these sound effects in my headset, because Jimmy maintains the lead through lap 1. This is incredible racing, but Matty Simmons is into P1 now before the end of lap 1.
This could be huge for Matty Simmons. That's a rear gunner for him. Remember, these two, even if they aren't specifically teamed up, they're running different liveries. These two are both BCG racing team drivers, so these guys will look after one another. Matty Simmons very gentle on the overtake, and Jimmy Payload is going to run a very hard rear gunner.
Absolutely. So doing everything he can to keep Nico behind him. For how long, we do not know. Nico there in P3. I do not believe this. Is that Andrew up into P5? How long is it going to take him? Wow, quickest there through the opening sector was Nico. Incredible racing action here. These reverse grids really do spice things up. We saw, Liam, some of the drivers trying the hard tyres as well at the end of that first race before we got underway here in race 2, because the tyre wear was very marginal at the end of race 1.
Certainly very aggressive. We saw a lot of people with their front right tyres looking pretty second rate, and that would be putting it very, very nicely. As look in the background, how close was that to contact? Andrew Lee down the inside of Prying Stingray, and I could have sworn there was going to be huge contact there with either Nick Dalton or Jimmy Payload. Don't know how that pulled up, don't know how no one is turned around at the bottom, but that was a massive send there from Andrew Lee, who just wants to get things done, wants to be sending moves, and you can see him there, he's aggressive. And Nico Dalton, he's also aggressive. He's into the back of Payload, and they're all banging wheels. They're banging doors. Andrew Lee trying to go around the outside. Is Nick Dalton going to let that happen? No, he slams on the brakes into Jimmy Payload. There's contact at the second last corner. Jimmy runs wide. And that is a great way to describe what is going on, Trev.
Unbelievable is the other way to describe it. Unbelievable, Liam. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 wide across the line. And Distinct Andrew is up into second. And there was contact, says Bob. They are getting very, very racy. As I hear the sound of my own voice, Liam, which is very off-putting through the headset, but Distinct Andrew up into second. This man is some sort of creature from another planet, because he's up into second on lap 3.
This is exactly what Matt Simmons doesn't want to see. Of course, both incredible drivers in their own right, but he's got 3 seconds to catch him and just over 7 laps to do it. This is going to be very achievable at the pace that we saw Andrew Lee setting last race, but it's big. It's a very big gap that Matt Simmons has been able to put down. In fact, that lap 2, a 2-minute 1.083 in clear air, Trevor, is less than half a tenth slower than what we saw from Caleb in a slipstream last race. So Matt Simmons, not sure where he's found the pace from, but he has absolutely turned it on.
He certainly is. Nico, oh, Nico having a look down into turn 9 as he overcooked it into turn 9. Andrew takes that inside line. He's going to live to fight another day. He's very, very quick indeed. We'll keep an eye on that gap. That is very quick, as you mentioned, though, Liam, from the one, the only Matthew Simmons, a 2:01. I think it was a 2:01.030. Beaky has advised us that Matt has checked out. He is gone. I'm not too sure about that, Beaky. I don't think he's far enough down the road to be outside of the reach of this man. But let's have a look at what else is... Oh, Jimmy! Jimmy! Jimmy's hit him! Jimmy has made contact, Liam. He is all over between those two cars there.
Well, these are two heated competitors now at the wheel of these race cars. And that was Jimmy Payload going, hey mate, I am not forgetting what happened last lap. And he has completely knocked him off the back of Andrew Lee. So Nico Dalton, he's not going to be happy with that one. And Jimmy Payload returning the favour for what happened the lap before. That was harsh. That was some white knuckle stuff there.
Unbelievable. Here you can see riding on board in the beautiful Nissan Silvia car here. Stingers with a penalty there, says Bob. But a big thank you, of course, Gamesmen, Australia's oldest independent video game retailer, and Selby Acoustics, great partners, of course, the largest online retailer of home theatre and electronics. We would not be here without them. Jimmy, no! He has let 3 cars by there, and he's down to 7th in the blink of an eye. Caleb, Ranger Rolls and Tank, all through there on that occasion.
Oh, this is not over though, Trev. He's lining these guys up. He did just go a little bit deep there, but it's 3 wide ahead of him. Look at them all stacking up. They all want to turn. They want to have a go at who is moving ahead, who's having a go at the front. I don't know who's going to come out ahead of this one. Of course, we've seen Tank multiple times through this bowl go well. I don't know who to put money on. They're all on the brakes now. They're all on the anchors, Trev. And it might be Caleb who comes out ahead of both of them.
Unbelievable. Prying Stingray. Look how close it is. Stingray with the penalty, so he's going to have to slow down eventually. Poor Jimmy. He's back down there in P8 now. Ridwan Hamza in P9. Oh boy, Mint Matt Simmons 2.9. Maintaining the gap there, but Andrew, he's in clear air now, so it's going to be a straight fight to the finish of this race. As you can see, 2.1 back to Nico. As Beaky says, no, Trev, clean air. Matt is gone to the flag. Well, there's a lot of time left, Liam. There's plenty of time, isn't there, for Andrew? He's close enough, and my goodness me, one sure thing, he's quick enough as well.
Yeah, and Matt's really just relying on all the experience he's got in these cars at the moment. Of course, he's no stranger to the Silvia S15. He did run this for a Rouge Sunday League season a few years ago, as well as had a pretty nice battle with the man chasing him at Deep Forest in a GT World Series race. So he knows how to steer him. He knows how to get pace out of them. I think the only thing he should be concerned about right now is he is using and abusing that front right tyre, and that's something that Andrew Lee isn't doing. So a little bit more mechanical sympathy coming from the man in the Castrol livery, but just high stakes all around. It's 2.8 seconds between these two guys at the moment. I'll tell you what, Matt Simmons is doing a phenomenal job. Over the past 2 laps, Trev, it has been dead even between these two guys. There's been absolutely nothing found either way.
Unbelievable. 2:01.0, as you can see, was the fastest lap of the race there. 2:01.1, 2:01.3. Whilst we look at Andrew, similar numbers there. If Matt doesn't win, I'll eat my chocolate chocolate pistachios there. Well, Beaky, thank you for the interesting comments there in the chat. But Andrew there, we'll continue on. Nico, got to stop looking at Andrew and Matty Simmons there. There is Nick Dalton, otherwise known as Oz Nico 9. Then Caleb in 4th. He's doing pretty well also. Finished P2, of course, in race number 1. But this race is absolutely flying by like you wouldn't believe. But in terms of the championship, we were running numbers, I think, Liam. I don't want to put you on the spot. But going on this sort of form, I believe, Andrew, he had a very comfortable lead, didn't he, coming in to the final round of leg 1 of this championship. And I'm sure, even if they stay as they are now, that he will take that lead into next October for the next part of this championship.
Sorry, Trevor, I haven't even thought about the numbers. There is quite a bottleneck going on at the back as Jimmy Payload faces off against the FR Racing cars, and they're still going at it there. You can see them all into turn 1. It's nearly friendly fire. This is the World Championship for 6th right now.
Unbelievable. Forget about those... oh, Tank down the inside. Jimmy is absorbing all sorts of pressure here. What a race, these sprint rounds. It's hard to believe that it is the first of these sprint rounds. Given the action we're seeing here, big hello to everybody out there watching. Let us know where you are watching from, because this is unbelievable. Tank in P7. Stingray Ridwan there continuing on in P9. And Bob saying not very often you see a Ridwan down there. Bit late to the party, lads. Says Matt Dinetti. My goodness me, Liam. The names we've got here joining us. Matt Dinetti, that's right. The sim racing superstar that he is has been good enough to join us. Going for Matty Simmons. Oh my goodness. There's lots happening here. Can they work together maybe to get Jimmy's payload here?
I'm just in awe at the moment watching this right now, Trevor. There is one yellow bombshell at the lead of 3 FR cars. It is absolute slaughter. And Jimmy Payload right now is playing the Lamb, but he's holding on. It's like someone has given a rocket launcher to the Lamb, and they're fighting back big time, but he might not be able to fight this one. Tank here down the inside of Jimmy Payload, runs it deep though, and if Jimmy is clever enough, he might actually be able to switch back on this one. He's very wily. And here's Stingray though. Stingray wants to disrupt the party. And I'll tell you what, I think the balloons may have just gone pop on Jimmy Payload's defense. They're all trying to get by him now.
Absolutely. Oh, Jimmy. He's using the force. Bringing back the aggro indeed. There was a message there. Oh, this is incredible. Jimmy now at the back of this pack. But you can never count him out. And the numbers, Liam, are huge here on the stream. And why wouldn't they be? It is Jimmy fighting off an FR sandwich here. They've boxed him in big time here, Liam. And now they're fighting amongst themselves.
It's just non-stop. These guys just want to go at each other. And it's great to watch. I'm loving this. And you know the great thing? Even if these cars are trading paint, it's the same paint on all of them.
Absolutely, and get in there, Jimmy, says Bob. Matt Dinetti is loving this. Elbows out and ruffle those pink feathers. Indeed, Bob. Let's continue through the field. Matty Simmons, Liam, what is the gap, please? 1.9. Oh, there is distinct, Andrew. Let's have a look at the lap times. Consistency galore there. Matty Simmons at 2:06. He's losing a few tenths of a second, and it's going to be vital towards the end of this one.
I can tell you for free, Trevor, Matty Simmons has been using that front right tyre. He has been relying on every single shred of the Yokohama Advan that he's got bolted onto that hub, and it is asking for no more. He's still got 3 laps to go on it, and it is looking pretty bad. This is going to be one hell of a battle, not only just to hold Andrew back, but to get to the end of the race on this front right tyre. Matthew Simmons has been pushing.
He is pushing once again. 2:01.8 on that lap versus a 2:01. 1.413. We'll get back to that battle. Only a couple of laps remaining. Nico, he's not too far ahead of Caleb there. Then RaceOnOz, not quite as much of an exciting race for him. But, oh my goodness me. Here we go again. Prying Stingray with a 1 second penalty. So Jimmy's got one of them dealt with, but now he's got Ridwan on his plate here in front of him. He's got a proud Serbian for dinner.
It's getting aggro as well. Jimmy Palo trying to put the big blocks on, and there was definitely contact between these two guys as Jimmy there loses the spot to Ridwan, but holds back Stingray, who of course will have to serve that full second penalty at the end of this lap. That could drop him entirely off the back of these guys. And remember, Stingray as well, the only driver in the field electing to go with the hard tyre to combat some tyre wear.
Oh, interesting. We'll keep an eye on this one. So, Prying Stingray, it never ends, says Water Arrow. Cream always rising to the top. Go, Jimmy, says Beaky. As we continue through the field, that 1 second penalty, which he will have to serve at the next slowdown line there. Matty Simmons back to 1.2. Beaky still got him for the win, Liam, but I don't know about this. Those front rights are cooked.
It's going to be tough. It is looking worse and worse by the lap. That front right has seen better days. And I'll tell you what, it's probably not going to see many worse than this. 1.1 seconds now between the top two with 2 laps to go. I'm not sure who to put money on here. I think if I had to pick someone, it would be Matty Simmons. He's got all the experience, all the racecraft of anybody in this grid. There's probably nobody you'd rather have at the front of a field to try and hold off the Andrew Lee.
Absolutely. Let's have a look now. Penultimate lap of this race coming up. Oh, it's a second at 2:02. That's his slowest lap of the race so far. 2:02 flat here as the sun setting here at Trial Mountain, a foundation circuit in the Gran Turismo series. Oh, I tell you what, they've had plenty of rodeos, these two. Let me tell you, GT World Series, you name it, very experienced. Oh, geez, I've nearly fallen off my chair there. Let me just straighten myself up. But it's getting very close here. Let's ride on board with Andrew. Liam, talk us through where he could get this move done. Like we always say, though, got to get up very early to get past Matt Simmons and Hank, the French bulldog of his.
He's certainly got a little bit of an advantage in that first sector, probably a little bit in the second sector as well, but it's now a matter of battling. It's not about pace or anything like that. He is on the back of him. He is close enough to send one right here if he wants to, but Matt's going to be defensive, and he knows where to hold the car too as we watch these guys go at it, and this is going to be a good battle. Matt, of course, wise to the first challenge. He just leaves his car in the right spot. He's going to hold it in all the right places, and there's no chance he's going to let him get down the inside here. This is going to be one for the brains in racing. It's not about the speed or the aggressiveness. This is all about racing IQ, as there's no defense there, and Matt there not defending thin air. This is very, very close between these guys. There's nothing between them, as Andrew looking for an overtake here at the final corner, and only 1 lap to go. Matt leaves it open though, and Andrew can't be late enough on the brakes. This is unreal stuff.
Unbelievable. Oh my goodness, there they almost touch. It is Andrew still has to catch him, of course, then get past him. Catching is one thing, passing is another. Get on the horn, Matty, says Bob, but let's just get back to our broadcast. Oh, look how close it is. 1/10 of a second. Matty now looking down the outside. Can he get it done? Matthew Simmons on the inside. He holds the lead. Andrew versus... Oh, I can't even watch Liam. What is the hell is going on here?
Side by side through the entire first sector, and it's Andrew Lee who comes out on top, but Matt got a decent exit through the tunnel. He's close enough for something, but it's not going to be a lunge from somewhere silly. He's just got to stay with him now. If he can stay with him through this next little complex, there's still going to be one more chance for Matt at the bottom of the straight, but this needs to be perfect. This needs to be a amazing left-hander here. If he can nail this, he's still on for it.
Yep, got to be close. Got to be close through turn 8.
It was okay. It was pretty average, to be honest with you. I think he's still within lunge distance, but that was... Oh, there's a big tyre wear disparity between these two guys, Trevor. I think Andrew could hang on to this.
I don't... Oh, the gap's closing. The straight isn't going to be long enough for Matt Simmons. It's going to be one final lunge. Is it lunging distance? I don't think so. Oh, Matt throwing everything he can at it. I don't think he's got the tyres left to do it though. Liam, and through the final few corners we go. Beaky is not going to be a happy man this evening because Matt Simmons is going to lose out here to Andrew. He's still close though, Liam, but I reckon it's going to be Andrew getting the job done. 13, 14, 15 to go. What a performance from this man. And once again, Liam, guess what? He's going to be finishing P1 after everything that they throw at him. You cannot keep this man down.
He's just timeless. This stuff that he does is silly and unreal. And it's Andrew Lee one more time. It's another clean sweep tonight. And I'll tell you what, it's some bloody good racing from these two guys. Hats off Andrew Lee. Hats off Matt Simmons. And it's another win for Andrew Lee at the front of the MSA Saturday League Cup. Caleb Birtles comes through for P3 after late drama for Nico Dalton. Doesn't even finish in the top 5 as Matthew Allen sweeps through for P4. And Tank here in P5, towing home Nick Dalton in P6. Right behind him, P7, Ridwan Hamza, who does manage to get ahead of Jimmy Payload and Prying Stingray, who finish it off in P8 and P9 respectively.
What a second race, says Water Arrow. Great racing. An incredible performance, but guess what? Knock, knock. Who's there? Andrew Lee finishing in P1. Brilliant work, gents. Thank you, Beaky. 8 positions off the line. He takes the victory once again, and it is a complete domination there. He's destroying them as well. Liam, I've made up a lot of words in my lifetime, but that is an absolute beauty. But Andrew takes the win. Once again, it was close for Matt Simmons, but not quite close enough. Liam, take us through the results, please, to finish the first sprint round this year.
I mean, what a great finish. Of course, Andrew and Matt, great racing between those two guys. And to not knock each other off the road there through that first sector takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent. And these guys aren't short of either. So hats off to those guys. Of course, Andrew Lee capping it off at the end. Caleb Birtles finishes off our podium in P3. Of course, the distinct esports teammate of Andrew Lee. And hasn't he been a little bit of a force in the second half of this first leg? Matthew Allen in P4, a lonely 10 seconds back from the leader, while Tank Adam Alzain rounds out our top 5 in the first of the FR racing cars. Nico Dalton fell off with an awkward 6th lap, I believe it was. Lost 13 seconds in one lap. Should have been P3, instead P6 for him, behind Adam Alzain. It's Ridwan Hamza, the team owner, in behind them in P7, followed by Jimmy Payload, who picks himself off the bottom of the results ladder. And Prying Stingray rounds it out. Of course, his problems with the controller continue, but he might have a little bit of relief next season, Trev, as we do look at potentially lowering our tyre wear rates heading into the second leg.
Ooh, keep an eye out for that. Speaking of the next part of this championship, of course, as we take a look at the calendar, that is the end of the opening leg of this championship. Rounds 1 to 7 done and dusted. And Liam, well, the fun never ends, of course, for your good self, but we've got a couple of weeks off, don't we? In fact, a month off before we head to the Nürburgring for round 8 of this championship to get leg 2 underway of this season.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to call it a bit of time off. Of course, Saturday League will take a little bit of a break. So this month and a little bit, month and change, I should say, before we do head to Green Hell in Europe. And of course, if you do keep a keen eye on the calendar, it is very segregated in the way that we've done our continents. So, of course, we did go to Asia for our first 3 rounds before heading down under to Bathurst in round 4. America for the last 3 rounds we've been to. And we do head to Europe for the remainder of the season. So from round 8 all the way through to round 15, it is European fast and flowing, Trevor.
Absolutely, that's what we love to see. Thank you, Liam, for joining us once again this week. Of course, plenty happening for Race on Oz between now and the 18th of October. But a big shout out, Liam, please, if you would, please, for our sponsors of this series before we finish up here this evening once again.
course, always happy to give love to the people who make sure that Rouge stays online and keeps on supporting the people who need it the most. So Selby Acoustics, massive shout out to those guys who have just been a relentless sponsor of ours for so long now. And it's always very, very warm to feel their support. Of course, Selby Acoustics, Australia's largest online retailer of home theatre and electronics. If you ever feel like you need to buy something off them, feel free to mention that you are a RaceOnOz member or supporter. They'd love to have a chat with you and always love to hear about the community. And let's not forget, of course, the Gamesman, Australia's oldest independent video game retailer. Same goes for those guys. Huge supporter of ours, have been so instrumental in the running of RaceOnOz, not just on Gran Turismo, but also on iRacing, Assetto Corsa, and Le Mans Ultimate. Of course, have a chat to those guys. Always happy have a chat to a Rouge member, and big love to both of those guys, Sean and Chris. Couldn't be doing it without you guys at all.
Absolutely great work. Thank you, Liam. Thank you to everybody. We'll see you in a few weeks' time, Liam. Thank you to everybody for joining us in the chat. That was round 7 of the Motorsport Australia Esports Saturday League Cup. Be kind to one another out there. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and we will see you back again for Leg 2, Round 8 of this championship. It's going to be a retro round. We cannot wait for that one, but until then, it's goodbye for now. See you next time.